Dear students, now we are starting with Unit 4 of Power Electronics, which is DC to DC converter, means chopper, and AC voltage controller as a part of it. Let us start with the syllabus for the unit, which is first part chopper, where we'll go through working principles of buck converter, buck boost converters for R and RL loads, control strategies for these choppers, how to measure the performance that using performance parameters, then boost converters, specifically step up choppers, followed by 2-quadrant and 4-quadrant choppers, means choppers which works in 2-quadrant, either first and second or second and third, and 4-quadrant chopper which operates in all 4 quadrants. After that, we'll brief about SMPS using half bridge, full bridge, and buck boost converter, flyback topology, and forward converters. At last, we'll go through AC voltage controllers. Typically single phase AC voltage controllers. We won't go through 3-phase AC voltage controller because it's beyond syllabus. And that too will consider application for the R load, resistive loads. Then when we enter into DC to DC conversion or power conversion, what we basically do and why to do it? What to do it? Means you do have a fixed DC voltage source and you want either variable or fixed but with a different amplitude voltage to feed your load. So if I consider this scheme as a black box, what I can see input source at left hand side and load at right hand side. This load, example load is specified with 50 volt, 10 amperes, means 500 watt load, and source is naturally capable of delivering 1 kilowatt, 100 volt into 10 amperes. Then how to realize it? How to do it? The simplest method, whatever you want, supply to load, the rest dissipate in the resistor. So what I did, I converted this black box into a variable resistor, which is capable of sustaining 10 amperes at least. So I selected a variable resistor which can dissipate 500 watts. So set this resistor at 10 amperes and 50 volt is dropped across resistor. 50 volt is a load voltage. So load power is 50 volt into 10 ampere, 500 watt. But the supply was delivering 1000 watts. So efficiency is reduced to 50% and 50% power is lost or dissipated inside the resistor. This is not a preferred realization because we are simply dissipating the power which is not required. So what to do? Use active devices. So implementation using active devices necessarily involve switches or the power devices you studied in Unit 1. It can be a power transistor, MOSFET, IGBT, or even a SCR. But SCR is least preferred one. So the same circuit, instead of dissipative resistor, I am using a series pass regulator, or you can say a transistor used in active region or as an amplifier, whatever, because everything boils down to same. I do have 1000 watt source, 500 watt load. The rest 500 watt is dissipated across this linear amplifier or a series regulator. For that, I do have a feedback arrangement and a reference voltage so that error signal can be generated and fed to control the base bias of a transistor or a gate drive for the MOSFET or IGBT. So if I want to model this or go for a simplest circuit using a switch instead of a linear amplifier, I will do it like, see again, the source. Instead of amplifier, I'm showing a switch, the simplest topology, and a load. The circuit is connected. And output is, when switch is connected and load is getting power from the source, you can see that this VG, generator voltage, is appeared across the load for some time. And when switch is off, means it is connected to 2, terminal 2, there is no load voltage, load is disconnected. So if I take average of one cycle, I will get the load voltage 50 volt and current flowing through the load is a 10 ampere. But this is realized using a switch. So in this, I can use the same devices mentioned above, but I'm using them in a switching region instead of a active region. Means either they will work in cutoff or they will work in a saturation. So in DC to DC converter switching, what we seen is D is a duty cycle, which can be from 0 to 1. Means minimum duty cycle will be 0, maximum it can be 1. TS, which is sum of on period and off period, is one cycle, which is switching period, means portion 1 and portion 2. Reciprocal of it is a switching frequency. Then what should be a switching frequency? At what rate we should switch this chopper? Ideally, we should switch it anything beyond audio range, means 20K. Practically, choppers are switched around 40K to 60K. For this purpose, naturally, we cannot use SCRs. So we are going to use MOSFETs in most of the cases. So what DC component I am getting at load is integration over a cycle. Let us integrate 0 to TS. TS is the max period for one cycle. VS into VST into DT is D into VG, which is a generator voltage. So what advantage I got? I got low power loss because I am operating the devices in the switching region. Naturally, the better efficiency, but as I am switching at a very high rate, I do get harmonics. Harmonics of a very higher frequencies. But that's good. If I'm getting harmonics of a higher frequency, I can easily reduce them using a low pass filter. Let us add a low pass filter to this scheme and form our first step down chopper. Means add lossless LC filter. Practically they are having some losses, but for realization, consider it's a lossless. And select cutoff frequency F0, means pass band of low pass filter, which is much smaller than Fs, so that all harmonics will be reduced. Same as we had seen in the previous slide, I added LC filter only so that I can get less ripple at the output and get the stabilized voltage. So this is how we got our first buck converter ready. It's working. This is how we realize any step down chopper or buck converter or one quadrant chopper which operates in the first quadrant, because voltage and current are in phase as we had seen, because current is flowing from source to load only and voltage is also from source to load. So V is 0 to VG and I is 0 to IL. Okay. Now, once step down chopper is realized, to represent it in a simple manner, by using this scheme, a switch control part is eliminated or not shown here for simplicity. Open and close switch and its waveform, duty cycle, in order to illustrate these formulas. And what we get to solve the numericals or get the output voltage based on input voltage and duty cycle control is D defined as a duty cycle, which is T on means on period, to on period plus off period means a complete cycle. T on plus T off is T, which is complete cycle. So T on by T. Actually, the output voltage V0 is nothing but D into Vs because it is simple average. So time period is 1 by F, okay, switching frequency. Now let's consider this for RLE load, because these are the most practical loads which we are using in day-to-day life or in industries, because no load will be purely resistive or purely dissipative. So what I did, I added a freewheeling diode to this circuit. Why? Because I do have an inductor in the circuit, I do have a battery in the circuit. If freewheel diode is not added, there will be issue with dissipation of the inductor's energy which is stored during the on period. So let us consider the first interval when switch is closed. load is connected to source, and load, inductor and battery all are getting powered from the source. So some voltage is dropped across resistor, which is load voltage, but inductor in series. So voltage across RLE will be a load voltage. So I 0 into R is dissipation across R. L di by dt is inductor voltage, and E is the battery voltage. When switch is open, means a second duration. Here you can see that current is falling, but which current? Here at the point, a junction where battery terminal positive and inductor terminal are connected is the highest positive point in the circuit. So it starts flowing through this mesh where this D or freewheeling diode is got forward biased, and that inductor energy is dissipated in this mesh only. Means practically dissipated in the resistors. During that period, inductor current or I0 means load current goes down. Again switch is on, then again inductor starts storing energy, load is getting fed from the supply, and current is rising. If this switch is not turned on for a longer duration, then this may reach to 0, which leads to a discontinuous mode operation. The shown circuit is in a continuous mode. These are the waveforms for inductor current, load current, and say this is load voltage Vs minus V0, load current IL or inductor current, then current flowing through the capacitor and current through the switch. See, during on period, current through the switch rises rapidly. Capacitor which was discharged is getting charged and current is going in positive direction. Same is for inductor, but this was below average. Now it is going above the average voltage. And Vs minus V0 is a positive one. When switch is open for a longer duration, see that IL is getting dropped, linearly decreasing. Same is with IC, because these inductor currents and capacitor currents are getting dissipated in the load again through this freewheeling diode. But the switch current is 0 because switch is open and the cycle repeats. So this is how the buck converter works practically for RLE load. In the right hand side circuit, it is shown as R only for simple representation and understanding. So this is how a buck converter works, position 1 and position 2. Here LC is a filter part. This is load circuit. Here LC is the filter part. This is freewheeling diode, which is not shown in upper circuit. And source is disconnected. So position 1 is closed switch, whereas position 2 is open switch. In circuit 1, supply and load are connected. And in circuit 2, inductor is feeding the load and a freewheel action takes place. This is how typically a buck converter works. The operation of a boost converter and buck boost converter 4-quadrant chopper we'll see in the next lecture. Thank you.